If you were a stranger to Bathurst, you would never imagine how this peaceful rural city transforms itself for one day every year.
Tiranas have got the legs on the rest of the field. In fact, it's all Tiranas as they come pouring down the mountain.
So it was 1987 when I bought the car. Saved up over the Christmas holidays, etc., or uni breaks, and to afford the car as a car that I'd always wanted to own, so I was lucky enough to purchase it. I guess what attracted me to them was the racing history of the car, that they were a six-cylinder Australian-made Holden that was built specifically by the factory for racing at Bathurst against the much more powerful, much larger GT HO Falcons. So that really attracted me to them. I originally actually liked the later ones, the late 70s ones, and then I guess got captured by the story of this little six-cylinder Tirana with triple carbies winning Bathurst and beating the big boys, and so yeah, that's what particularly attracted me to actually buy one. I think, now that I think back at it, which at the time that I bought it, it was rumoured to have a race history, but there was no real proof of it. There was just, when you bought a car in those days, some scratch notes of previous owners that it raced at Bathurst and had been returned back to a road car. Being a race car, my car is by no means show condition. It's had a number of bumps and scrapes throughout its life and hurried repairs to get on the track for the next race. So it's not a show car. So managed to get the documented history of the car, that it was an original GTR XU1. It was one of 200 that were built. That it was registered as a race car in 1972, and it wasn't registered on Victorian roads until 1973. So it was a race car for the first 12 months of its life as a series production race car before it was registered. But able to confirm the rumours of who actually raced the car, which was a driver who was quite competitive in his time back in the early 70s by the name of John Stewman. Until I can no longer drive it, probably. I think it's staying with us, and hopefully I hand it down. It stays part of the family. If I sold it, I couldn't replace it. Yeah, and it's been a part of me now for close to 40 years, so I can't see it going anywhere now. Having gone and seen them, I took my son to the Holden factory before it closed, and we saw the engine manufacturing there as part of a Holden event with the XU1 Tiranas. I went down to the proving ground at Lang Lang outside of Melbourne, where they tested all the Holdens, and spoke to the guys who'd lived there for years and could see the end coming of the ceasing of manufacturing. And that was all really sad, for them, and how much investment has gone into building some really good motor vehicles that, for larger reasons, just weren't competitive anymore. And one of my close friends actually worked at Holden from being an apprentice when these cars were originally came out, and retired just before Holden shut its doors. So I know personally, that's big for him. But it's like anything, isn't it? Like, people make choices, and if you can buy a cheaper car manufactured overseas with just the same performance, that's what people were doing, buying four-cylinder cars that were pretty reliable. And Holden made some great cars too, but ultimately these things are international decisions. It's been a big part of Australia's history, and it's a bit sad that it probably came to the end only in the last few years, with Holden ceasing manufacturing and Ford ceasing manufacturing of Australian-built cars. No, I'm never going to sell it. The kids, it's The kids love it. It's part of the family, and it's not going anywhere.